It's almost 6 years back that AirAsia India started its journey in India, and at that point of time, it was touted to be a disruptor when it comes to the low-cost carrier market, and it was said that it will give a heavy competition to Indigo, and it had all the reasons to do so. If you look at it was the return of the Tatas into the aviation market after a very long time. Tony Fernandez had the reputation of teaching the world how to run a low-cost carrier, and then you obviously had Nitu Chandelia, who was one of the smartest-looking CEO and one of the fittest CEOs for sure at that point of time. But then, 6 years later, the company grew. The operations were obviously nowhere close to being a competition to Indigo, but also it grew with really burning a lot of cash and burning a lot of money. In that while as well, there were a lot of incidents which happened when it comes to the investigative agencies really getting after Tony Fernandez. And 6 years later, when we look at that company, what we look at is both the JV partners not really willing to invest money further into the airline. What we have been told by our sources is that Tata Sons is not willing to put further money for recapitalization into AirAsia India. The company wants to focus all of their energy and more importantly all of their capital into Vistara and want that to grow. AirAsia globally is dealing with its own funding vows, and that's why at this point of time it's that they are also not very willing to put in huge amount of money to make sure that AirAsia one sustains, second expands. In fact, both the partners have reached out to each other in an offer to be bought out by the other, and both of them have denied the offer from the other partners. So at this point of time, the talks are on. The talks are on of how to really recapitalize the airline, how to make sure that it sustains in the current market. If you're not raising money, if you do not have assets, or you do not have a promoter backing, you will not be able to sustain, and that is something everybody in the aviation market understands at this point of time. That for AirAsia or any of the airlines to sustain at this point of time, they need cash. And AirAsia does not have assets. AirAsia has been posting a lot of losses in the past. Last fiscal, the losses were around 500 crore rupees. So they need money to even sustain, and that is now the talks are between both the parties that how to recapitalize the airline. There have been talks of bringing a third partner in. Now, what we have been told is that given the fact that both of the partners are not really interested when it comes to buying the stake or running the airline with that dedication, there were talks and there were thoughts of selling it out to a third partner, but everybody knows that in the current market, really getting a third partner is the most difficult task. So at least at this point of time, I've been told that talks are on how to recapitalize so that the airline can at least sustain the storm of COVID pandemic. But clearly, as I said, the JV started off as something which will really disrupt the market, has itself run into turbulence at this point of time.